All right, back to a little truck. About a year ago, I think it was, I started working on an SCX24 6x6 chassis, and it just kind of like kept it to myself to be my first project to fully work on. I've had like probably 6 or 7 iterations of this now. I think I finally got to a spot where I like the layout, just kind of how it's coming along. So I just wanted to kind of finish up this one again. This one I did some red PETG, and then instead of black, like, you know, base. So I've been calling this kind of like the bed. Originally this was a lot smaller cab here, and then it tapered way down. So it was like here to here, it tapered till the roof was only this big. But then wires would stick out, and, you know, putting your battery in there would stick out, kind of thing. So I ended up elongating this. I've added a few things along the way. Added these 2 side braces because it was kind of flexy in this area. Not a lot, but just to add in. I also added a brace in here. There you go. That wasn't there before crossed, because this section, depending on how you built it, depending on what you were using, would get kind of squishy. Haven't had any problem in the back with these hanging down. These are, I think I have these at 3 millimeters thick. These are pretty good. It's kind of an adjustable arch. There's not a bunch of adjustability in height. You're going to change the height with your shock height, and this is just to lay them down. This is just depending on what kind of lengths you have or want. Right now this is a C10 base with the C10 rears again. So like Bronco. I got a Bronco right here. So you got the Bronco here, and then another set of rears in the back. These just never matched because I bought a set. I don't even know what I did with the fronts. I don't know. Anyways, there's a random front somewhere, because this is C10, like I said, rear C10. So one of the C10 Broncos, something has that in the front. Nope. No idea. I had all 3 stock axles in here with just a bunch of brass in the front, but I really needed to get some weight on this thing because this thing is just so light in general, just because it's 3D printed. There was just not much weight, and it just kind of bounced everywhere I was going. No matter what I did, you know, like I said, I originally added brass hubs and brass hexes and brass diff cover and all that, and it didn't help. So I ended up taking these, I think out of the Bronco actually, because it had these in it, and that's more of a trail truck anyway, so I don't really need to weight down low. So that's, you know, I mean, everyone knows the Bronco is one of the worst ones that they came out with as far as top heavy. So I threw them in here. Stock rear axle, middle axle, well, rear middle axle with the pass-through brass cover, and it's been way better now with this weight, added weight. I mean, it's a ton of front weight. It's been great. So I'm at where I want to kind of finish it up, and that's what this video is going to be. I bought an icing V2 motor from Big Kid Tiny Truck. Then I also have a what was it, Cupcake 25 amp, yeah, ESC. So I wanted to get that wired up, get put in here, and then I have the little Mias 4-channel controller. Gonna pop that in too for the Mias ME10B controller, and then figure out a battery. I usually just use the small little, like the Palm Beach batteries, I believe there are in here. So one of the recent things I did was made it so this hinged, because originally this was just screwed in and you had to like slide your battery in. It kind of really stunk. So I wanted to make it hinge so you can get the battery out easier and put in, and look at all that room you have. So still kind of undetermined. I think I'm going to pop the battery right there. I know a lot of people like it up in the front over here, but this is just so low profile, it's not feasible, obviously. Battery here has been fine. This is a new one, so I don't have any. I usually use 3M dual lock on most of my batteries and whatnot. Looks like this, and it's like Velcro, but not Velcro. It's like just the plastic kind of eats it, you know, pops into the plastic, and that way it's not as gross, kind of doesn't get as dirty. But also it just sticks, no problem. It sticks way better than regular Velcro. So I'll probably stick that there, and then the ESC and the receiver will be just right here, more than likely. Originally I did have an R4FG in here, the little radio link receiver, and I had it shoved up in here, but that was before I put in the icing motor, and it had just a regular transmission in it. Now there's no real room in there. I guess I could shove it under there, but I wanted to stick with the small receiver in all my smaller trucks. I'll just pop it in there. It won't be an issue. Zip tie the wires here to the side. I'm good to go. I also have a file for this that doesn't have this cutout, so if you are going to have a regular transmission, then like no, you couldn't do that one. Just, you know, any stock transmission would fit in, no problem. And I had the motor still facing forward, but it was like, you know, of course it sits over there. So yeah, and this cutout didn't need to be this big, but I just figured if anyone puts a little bit bigger motor in, then yeah, there's a little bit of room. So anyways, yeah, this is a BKTT icing. It's going to be the ESC and his motor mount. So I'm going to wire up the ESC, and then I'll be back with testing to make sure that all works. And then I got to figure out what I don't want to do for tires. These are the tires I have on hand. I originally had bought J Concepts was having a sale on a bunch of little 1-inch, you know, wheel tires, 1.0s, and I bought a bunch of Tusks. But I didn't realize, I didn't look at the size. I just saw that they were 1-inch in bottom. They're just way too small. They're what are they, 60 millimeter? I don't actually know. Let me. Yeah, it doesn't even say. I'm pretty sure they're 60 millimeter. Hold on. No, that's right. They're like 50s. 52 millimeter. Like I said, I wasn't paying attention. I was like, oh, they're $5. I'll grab them and I'll just take off the, you know, use some of the Uncure for the glue and take it all off. I didn't realize that they're that small, and I bought 1 set, 2 set, 3 sets. And then I also ended up buying 2 sets of the landmines. So I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with all these, because they're kind of small. I don't have anything that small for a build. So I'm either going to go with these Swamper type tires here that were on these Hobby Soul wheels, but the wheels are now on here. So I just have 2 sets of those. These are off of the Arctos. These are the aftermarket Hobby Plus wheels, Steely wheels, and the stock tires. And then I have 3D printed inserts that I made for them. And then these are the, you know, they're like a 60. Yeah, everything I think is apparently a 57 millimeter Swamper-ish tires with siping. These do pretty good on a lot of trucks. So I'm thinking about trying these ones out because they're kind of soft and they're a good size. The only thing is I don't know what wheels to do because I don't have 6 of the same wheel. I have 4 of these ones, 4 of a black version of it, 4 of these. These tires are horrible. Only 2 of those because the other wheels are on there. I do have these, but these are 1.2 wheels, so they don't, and they're Steelies. If they were not Steelies and regular beadlocks, these I'd be able to stretch them on no problem, but the Steelies are horrible to try to stretch on. And then, oh yeah, the other thing is I have these tires too, the Jora, what are they, Ruptures or whatever. Oh, Klingon, sorry, Klingon. I was thinking of J Concepts and stuff. I also have these Klingons. I have 2 sets of these. I had bought for another, well, I had bought for this, but I ended up putting these other Hobby Soul tires on. So possibly these, but these might be a little large. 64 mil, because this barely fit, and I know these are about a 60, but they're really wide, and they have a relatively good, you know, good offset, and they were fine. These wheels with the high offset like these are, with these tires actually did pretty good. But I know with these wheels, like this offset of a wheel, or a 1.0, they get really close in here. So I'm not sure what I want to do. But I figured I'd get everything running first, and then I'll figure out. I can always just throw these on for now and try something out after. But we'll see. So I'm going to wire all that up, and I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Wired up the Escape32. Got that all set. Kind of have like a basic tune. It's doing pretty good on it, but we'll probably bring the Wi-Fi linker with me and tune it out on the rocks when I get out. Hopefully tomorrow. Got the battery all hooked up. Yep. Beginning of the Ghostbusters theme there for the song for it. Got all that, you know, isokinetic turn. This is just a GDW I got off of AliExpress a while ago. It's been pretty good. The other one I had did fry because I got it wet and it was in the Arctos, but so apparently not waterproof. But yeah, you can get that real slow creep. Barely moving. And there's a sign to trap. Pretty smooth. I need to adjust the trigger a little bit still, but not too bad. I ended up just throwing on the Arctos wheels and tires for now. I'm going to probably run these Klingons and get some wheels for them. Not sure yet. Kind of want to go with something, because those are pretty big. That's the only reason I kind of still not sure about. When I go to do the testing, by then I'll probably know, and you'll know at that time too. But we'll see. Yeah, I got that slow creep on there. I was playing around with it. I love the look of the icing motor. That's pretty good here. I was just kind of playing around on the bench. I did that way easier last time, but it was a different line. I was definitely more of an angle. But yeah, that's it for now, I think. I'll do some video testing it out, let you know how it goes. Everything's pretty small in there. I haven't had an issue with it set up like this before with the I've even had the battery way back here, and it was still not too bad during testing. So we'll see. But we'll go test hopefully tomorrow, maybe the day after, and then I'll get some wheels and tires and do the final videos and go from there. I'll be back. All right, and we're back from the rocks. Did really well for, not really adjusting it much. I did, before we went out, angle this down a little bit more, this shock, so it kind of leans down more. The Klingon tires did really good. I ended up finding another set of these wheels on Amazon. Got those all mounted up. I also realized before I went out that all the oil was out of these shocks, so I had put in, I think, 60 weight. Maybe it was 100. I think it was 100 weight in these, and either it all leaked out again, but it's not showing up, or it's just not. I don't understand how 100 weights that. This one's a little slower. This one's a little slower, but this one, it's like it's not there. So I gotta check them out again. I filled them up and let the air come out, but I don't. It's just like they're not there. I don't understand. I'll have to check it out again. But it did really good for even not having oil possibly. But I don't, like I said, I don't see any residue. It's not leaking. So who knows? Icing V2, very smooth, amazing. The Cupcake ESC, been great. I haven't even adjusted it since I originally put it in. It's been fine. I ended up cleaning up the wires a little bit. I have the battery here instead of up here. It's just not wide enough here to go sideways, so I just have it here. ESC, little receiver. It's been great. I have not had one issue. And this has taken a ton of tumbles. Like it's kind of scratched off. You can't really see. Yeah, you can see it in there. I think I'm gonna. There's no need for this ISO kinetic axle back here. That came with the kit, but I have another stock one right here that has the 4mm extension, so it would match this one. I'm gonna throw it back there. The only problem is I don't know what I'm gonna do with this axle. I don't remember if they sell these separate or not. I'll have to see if I can get just a front, because if so, then I'll just take this off and take that pair and put it on something else. Not sure what, because things are pretty. Maybe I'll throw it on the deadbolt. I'm not sure. I've been trying to not do a ton of the deadbolt. Just been kind of trying to keep that one kind of. Actually, I do have this other chassis I took parts off of recently. Yeah, we'll see. I just don't want to be stuck with an extra rear metal axle. I think you can buy the 4-wheel steer kit, where it's just 2 front axles. I'll be putting these files up on MakerWorld. They should be up by the time of this video. I'm not saying this is a great chassis. I'm not saying anything's amazing. This was just for me to play around and test and see if I can make a chassis that actually works out okay. Haven't had any issues. There's not a ton of adjustability for shocks. I got 39mm shocks on here and it does really well. Climbs up things, as you can see, pretty good. You can get a pretty steep incline because you have 6 axles, and it doesn't want, it still wants to go forward. Guess I should do it down here. It still wants to fall forward. That's almost 90 degrees, right? Say like 90 degrees there. That's when it wants to. But, it does good. I feel like I need more underdrive maybe here, because these will be touching. This one's underdriven for with the gears that it comes with in the Mias ISO kit. But it's this, when this tire is trying to grab up on a ledge, this tire's on the bottom touching, and it's like it just wants to flip over sometimes. So I think that if I underdrove this axle even more, it'd be really good. So I'm gonna try playing around with that. But first I'll figure out the axle things if I'm going to do that. I think these actually are the same. It's only the front that's different in the Mias ISOs. These are like the version 1 or whatever. So I think the newer version take stock, like regular axial gears. But I'm thinking if I underdrive this one a lot compared to this one, it should help trying to grab the ledge, because I'll be up on an edge like this, and this is trying to grab here, and this one just wants to flip me over. So we'll play with that. But yeah, if I put the files up, if you print it and you're curious about it, please let me know what you think about it. If there's any things to add, I do have one that doesn't have this cutout here, so it'll be just straight. And then you can have, if you have just a regular, like a brushed motor, and I believe that one also doesn't have this kick here. It kind of goes up and then over, so you could have the motor going backwards. It's just kind of like it dips down, over, straight up, and then back here. So there'll be like 2 versions up at least of this, because I think that's all I have. Well, that were final versions. If anyone does, like I said it before, there's a C10 based here, and then another set of C10 rear here. Then the brass pass through here. Let's see here. Endura shafts, C10 again, like I said, Mias ISOs. Endura wheels. Endura Klingons. Dickey DKKY transmission, BKTT motor mount, carbon fiber motor mount in there. He has different colors now too, so you can match it up. Icing V2, BKTT, Cupcake, BKTT, Big Kid Tiny Truck, Mias ME-10B. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I don't know why I'm blanking on that. ME-10B, I'm pretty sure is the model of the receiver, transmitter. And then the little 4-channel ME-04B. It's the one that has the little plugs, and then it has like a pigtail for the DuPont connector here, so you can kind of tuck it away in a lot of places. Little side note, these do not play well with Emax servos, and I know people hate Emax, blah, 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 but I've never had an issue with them until now. Like this one, this Emax servo here. I tried putting these receivers in, I have 4 SCX24s with Emax ones, and it burnt one out, and before that it was wigging out, so I thought maybe I had to change it to 50 hertz, because that's what an analog servo, I believe, is running on, and digitals are 330 hertz. And in here you can actually change it, and even putting it to 50 hertz, it was still wigging out, and then also next thing I know, the thing was wicked hot and it burnt up and it won't even turn on anymore. It was completely fine on the R4 FGM from Radiolink receiver, and as soon as I put in this one, it was bad. And then on the other one, I think it was this one, I tried the receiver again, it was wigging out, just jittering and jumping around. I put the R4 FGM in before it burnt up, before the servo burnt up, and it works fine. So there's something going on with the Emax analog servos that it doesn't like. It's completely fine with these GDWs though. On the Arctos, I have the GDW also. The Rockvan has the stock one, and they're fine. There's another one that has it. I don't remember which one, but it's just in the Emax analog servo that it hasn't liked. But Radiolink completely has no issue with it, so I'm not sure what weird thing's going on there. Did buy some other servos to try that. I think this is it for this one. If you do end up printing it out and trying it, leave a comment, leave a make, post a picture if you can. I'm curious on what people are going to do with it, if anyone does anything with it. There's not many 6x6 free files out there. There's not many 6x6 files in general. I might, if people ask, I'll put the prints up on my website, and that's see if they want to use it and they don't have a printer, just to kind of help out that way. And I probably won't include any of the hardware. You'll have to swap that over from your other truck. It's just 1.4 M1.4 bolts, just like on any other SCX24. Yeah, I think that's it for this one. Throw comments down below. Let me know what you think. And if you have any suggestions. Have a good day.